Hello and welcome back to Farmstead MTG. So we are here with the final of the Jumping Jesus tournament, and today I actually have a guest. He's a good friend, a magic vendor, and a fellow YouTuber. So let's say hello to Mitja. Hello.
Hi. I hope I'm in the video now, and I
Yeah,
did not. Okay.
yeah, you're in the video, and I think I can hear you. So that's really nice. So you've been all over the world. So how is it to play in Norway?
To be honest, we have one of the biggest and most active scenes for Swedish old school in the world, I would say. I mean, in the States, they obviously play Atlantic, which is probably the biggest scene right now. But for Swedish old school, you have in Norway, or for the worldwide in Norway, you have one of the biggest old school scenes,
Yeah,
Swedish wise. Yeah,
yeah. Uh,
super active. I mean, you grew a lot, right? Because I don't know. Do you remember Nordic Warrior Cup #1? I
yeah, I
think
do.
it was also right.
Yeah,
It, and I mean, we started playing with like 20 people, and now at the plague there are what 50?
yeah. It's the tournament is capped now with 50, so that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Jumping Jesus were 30,
Yeah,
34, something like that
yeah,
for a
around
normal
30.
meetup.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good. So, so tell me about your channel since you're here. Your YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
I mean the channel we are doing, me and Charles, it's Charles Klein from the States. We try to record every Swedish legal deck possible, which means really every deck. Every shitty card you can imagine, we try to build a deck around. Some decks actually work quite good, others didn't. We only play every deck once, which is a little bit sad. Maybe we need to change that because some of the decks are actually quite good, but the matchups are just so bad for them that you just
Yeah,
lose immediately.
yeah, I agree. But I think it's cool because there are some different old school channels, and you have your Brewers channel, and you have my channel, which is a bit more tournament spiky, and there's also the Brightstay MTG. I think he's from Russia. He has a lot of
Yeah,
budget decks and so on. So there's a
that's
good
awesome.
mix and a little bit for everyone.
I mean, to be honest, me and Charles, we were just a little bit tired because in the top eight, or let's say in tournaments, you normally always play or try to play the best deck you have. And that leads to the fact that a lot of people just play the same.
Yeah, it does. So, but the reason why you're here is that you're in the final. So I thought we could watch the final together. And I
Yeah, I'm
never
one
have
of
a
those
guest
guys
before,
who,
so
who
that's pretty cool.
always I'm a grown up one trick pony, blue white plus X. This is my hometown. This is where I come from. This
Yeah,
is where we are. Just for the viewers,
yeah,
here we are, blue white. This is where I live.
yeah. And your opponent is is also playing blue, white, and black, I think. So, but there
I
are
could
a
say I
few
don't know.
difference.
It was over so quickly. I don't know what he played. No, actually, that was rough. He said, without spoiling, he said, "Man, I can't remember when I got steamrolled so hard the last time."
So, no spoiler, right?
No spoiler. I mean, there's a hint. There's a reason why I'm here.
Yeah, right. But I sent you a link on YouTube.
Yes, I
So
opened it.
let's try. Let me see if I have something here, and let's hit play in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so here we
Okay.
are in game one.
Game one. I'm on the left side. I always
Yep,
play black sleeves. No, I on tournaments at least.
I see a Savannah line in your hand, and an ancestral also. So you have a really good start. Disenchant and a
Yeah,
Suchi. And a,
I think if I remember right, I kept a super pressureful hand. The list I'm running is a hybrid out of Louter Lines and the deck. I run 2 books, and actually it works quite well. +1 copy artifact and 3 sushis only.
Yeah. Ooh, and there's the money card.
Yeah.
And another lion.
Yeah. Those lines are just so good. These 1-drops, 2/1, you deal, even if they just attack for 4 damage, these 4 splash damage are just enough to win games.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good. And I tried your list in a tournament. I'm going to show that later. But it was a really cool deck because you can switch from being the aggressor to be more controlish and all that.
Yeah, exactly. This is the whole plan. If you recognize that your opponent is way more aggressive, like blue-red counterburn, whatsoever, you go full on control plan. 100% control.
Ooh, and a double sushi.
Yeah, as I said, I followed here the super aggressive plan. My opponent had a lot of removal there, but I think he also didn't had any land drops. Yeah, he missed a lot of land drops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep up. Yeah, and here comes the Brain guys. So for 6 plus the Ancestral. Yeah.
I drew 9 cards more, and he stopped playing lands. So
yeah, at least he got my Altered Planes. I made it for his 40th birthday. So that's nice.
By the way, my list runs no Time Twister. How was the list performing for you?
I don't want to spoil the result, but it was really solid. So I like the part when you can switch from the aggressor to the controller. And there was a match where I didn't play any lions in game 1, and I saw my opponent was really sideboarding, so I just kept them in, and I did the all aggressive start, and he was really surprised when I played like 2 lions at the start of the game 2. So that was a bit fun.
Also, a super good card which I run at the moment is Wrath of God. 1 in the main, 1 in the sideboard. It's really, really, really solid. Like 100% rock solid card, especially combined with maces. Maces plus Wrath of God. You make your opponent overextend the board and then just blew him off.
Yeah, that was my favorite strategy back in the days. The 4 maces and 4 discs and 20 counter spells.
It works. It's simple, but it works.
Yeah, same thing with the Tropical Twister deck with a mace and a drop of honey. That's such a good synergy.
That's correct. It's really. The maces are just so hard to remove when you only have 1 strip mine. I mean, yes, of course you could run Ice Storm, but they are not that good.
Yeah. And now you have a library as well.
Yeah, I drew the library in the Brain Gazer. I have 7 cards, and
yeah. I was sitting beside you and watching, and I remember you asked him, "Should we go to game 2?"
I didn't want to spoiler that one because I remember I asked him. That was a dick move. I asked him if I show you 2 or 3 counter spells, if we can go to game 2.
Yeah.
And he was like, yes. And I showed him 3 counter spells, and he was like, okay.
Yeah, but it was his first final, so I think he wanted to play it out, just just in case.
All cool and so, but I thought, okay, let's save some time for him and me, because I had that active Sarah.
Yeah.
He was down to 8 life and I had 3 counter spells, and he at some point only had 2 cards in hand or so. I don't remember, but he was really down to or top decking or whatsoever. So
yeah,
it was like, even if you draw 3 swords in a row, I can easily deal with them and win from there.
Yeah. And there's a disenchant on his Suchi. It's so hard to keep a creature on the table in this white-blue mirror matches.
Yeah,
because
this is also a super tough matchup actually, because we both run the same removal, and on top we have the same counter spells. So the chance that I deck him or he decks me is quite high. I lost one game with that deck because the Louter Lions decked me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my feeling too when I played with your list at that tournament, because I'm not used to going that low on cards in my library, so it was a bit stressful when there was like 10 or 15 cards left.
Yeah, but you really need to be careful what you're doing with the list. And if you're in the control modus, you really need to wait till you're sure that your opponent cannot deal with all your creatures, because as soon as 4 factories and 2 Sarahs are gone, you're dead, just dead. Then your plan is Brain Geyser your opponent for a lot. That's not a good plan. Because you only have one, just one. No regrowth, no recall, nothing.
Yeah, but I'm agreeing with not having the Time Twister in, because there's so many 12 bolt decks. So yeah, I end up sideboarding it out all the time.
Exactly, the bolt decks, you give so much reach to the aggressive bolt decks, Black-Wise decks, whatsoever. Why should you? And yes, of course, if you start with Mox, Lotus, Land, Twister, then you win. Exactly. But
and there was the scoop, by the way.
Yeah.
So you showed him like 4 counter spells.
Yeah. Plus Chaos Orb, plus Sarah.
So if you look closely here, you can see how he is sideboarding. He has 4 Serendipitous in his sideboard. So he is putting them in. So he's going for the more aggressive route. And I
was hoping that he does that, because I knew if he goes full aggressive, I can win in the control mode.
Yeah.
Because I take out the lines and put in more Wrath of Gods and
the maces. Yeah.
Yeah, and Divine Offerings, I guess.
Yeah, I think we can see your sideboard here as well. You're looking through your deck. I think you take out Suchi and Savannah line.
Yeah. This is the normal strategy if you board into control. You just remove every creature which has no evasion.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the copy artifact makes that deck so insanely flexible. It's in how one copy artifact. I was never more amazed by one of than one of copy artifact.
Yeah, and here we are in game 2. Kjell is on the play. He's mulliganing to 6. So at the start you're up 2 cards.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, so he has a very aggressive start with a Savannah line. But you have that factory.
Yeah.
No. You have a Tundra. Okay.
Yeah. I asked him if I can change that. Normally it's not a problem if nothing happened in between.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, he started super aggressive in that. But I had a sword that. Oh no, I had ancestral.
Yeah,
that helps.
So he can attack for a lot here. Oh, and there's a time walk.
Yeah, I think I Wrath of God at him.
Yeah, there it is.
This Wrath, I mean, the thing is, Wrath is, in my opinion, a little bit better than Abyss at the moment, because the Wrath is directly dealing with the creatures, and if you 2-for-1 your opponent, it looks really bad for him directly, and the Abyss would have gave him at least an attack 4/5.
Yeah.
6 if you count the factory.
Yeah, and Abyss doesn't deal with robots.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And 2 cards right now.
Yeah.
So there's
So I was sitting beside him, and we were really happy with that fast start because we had factories and lions and all that, and boom, Wrath of God and shattered the dream.
Wrath of God does a really solid job shattering Dream at the moment, because also no one is playing around. But even if you does, I mean, the mono green lists really badly need to overextend the board, so they lose against the Wrath of God as well.
Yeah.
And also robots need at least 2 threats on the board, otherwise they just die to divine offerings, disenchants, whatsoever. Wrath is super against trolls because it has no regeneration.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took out some trolls with that Wrath of God, so yeah, that was really nice, and people don't expect it, so that's also nice.
Yeah.
And there's a counter spell versus a brain geyser.
And as you can see, I'm in the full control mode. I basically do nothing. I just sit there, play lands, and react on my what my opponent does.
Yeah, and here's a really special Chaos Orb.
Yeah, this is actually made from the son of a close friend, Stephen Roach.
Ah.
Roche, sorry. His son drew the Chaos Orb, and I just put it in front of mine.
Yeah.
If people want, I can just remove it. I don't know if it is affecting any flip. The aerodynamic of the card or whatsoever. I have zero idea.
Yeah. And you countered his
Sarah. Yeah. I knew at that point, if he's not finding the ancestral, the chance that he can start a comeback is relatively low, because I countered the Brain Geyser already.
Yeah. Ooh. And you have that mana drain also.
Yes. As I said, I did nothing.
Yeah, and there's the demonic tutor. All right.
Yeah. And I think I went for Brain Gazer.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. The thing is, just for the viewers, the final was in May, I guess. So I'm sorry if I do not remember right every like line of play, but I assumed the obvious choice.
Yeah. Of course, because he only had one card in his hand, so
Yeah.
So there's the mana drain mana on that dice. So it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, that was a solid Brain Gazer.
Yeah. Yeah, so a really close final.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, the thing is that I started with Ancestral is good, but he's on an aggressive Lions list, and normally it's not that bad if he also finds some power.
Yeah.
Or if I just hit bad, but I hit perfectly.
Yeah, and you have that the library and the mind twist can decide these games.
Yeah, exactly as well.
So
if you start with a library or with a mind twist or even with double dip, and I do not have the sword, this is stuff which can happen, and you just lose.
I think you had the 2 sitting in the bottles in your sideboard.
Yes.
Are you happy with those?
Amazing. Best card. The thing is, with that list, I didn't lose a single round against the deck because of City in a Bottle. Because these games are only won by mana efficiency and library mind twist. And as I can counter mind twist after boarding, I have more counter spells than the deck player because I run 1 power sink in the sideboard. But I only have 2 ways of dealing with library. he also only has 2 waste, but with the City of Brass, I'm also attacking his mana base, and you can also take out Saras in that matchup, and leave in the sushis.
Yeah.
Because then you're not that affected by destroying your own City of Brass. But this is just, you can also leave in the Saras. It basically doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you sideboard in Seed in a Bottle against versus the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Because they suffer so hard by losing land drops or library, because they need to stay at 4 mana, and they need the City of Brass. And the boarding plan also depends. If I win game 1, I will game 2 aggressive again. If I lose game 1, we play 3 times the deck versus the deck. No, 2 times afterwards. But
Yeah.
And here you see how powerful Copy Artifact is. Just that Copy Artifact on a factory gives you 1 more creature in the main board.
Yeah, I really like it. Flexible cards are awesome.
So it's 2 mana. Also in the deck game, you just Copy Artifact his book, draw a card, and Divine Offer his book.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. And also versus like land destruction, you can just make a Mox or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can have that aggressive game with copying a Suchi.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Suchi, here's one.
Suchi,
and he gets a thumbs up from you.
I think at that, I think I had a Divine Offering in hand. And to be honest, at that state of the game, Divine Offering, it is just, I would say over, because I attack for 6. Yeah. I didn't even count the 4 life from the Divine Offering. Oh yeah, there it is.
There's a skip. Oh, look at that hand.
Yeah, I just showed it because you were recording, and maybe it is like.
All right.
Yeah, that was a cool tournament.
Yeah, so let's get really back to the studio here.
Yeah.
So now, so you won the Jumping Jesus tournament.
Yes, I also have the card, always reachable, in my deck box. Oh, where is it? Here it is. I put it in my starter, because here I collect all the cool cards which I got from tournaments and whatsoever. So yeah, it's here it is.
Yeah, you know, I was really
with impressed. That same list. I also
we have to talk about Finland because let's just go there. I think it was like they talked about that Finnish nationalship, and you went there with the same deck.
I was in Spain with this exact same list, and that trophy over there, that lamp, that magical lamp, can you see?
Yeah, no.
I won with the same list 1 month before another tournament. And in Finland, I dropped out of top 8 because I was so drunk because of pre-modern and stuff the day before. So yeah, I was not able to play top 8, but I was undefeated.
Yeah, I heard about you was like 6-0 or something. So you have an insane record with this deck.
As I said, the only round I lost was in Spain against Lauterline. That's it. I won the rest. It was like X1, and the X is how many games? 50 players in Spain, 30 players in 11, plus another 5, 16 rounds.
Yeah, that's so really impressive. And I was really impressed with your play also at the Jumping Jesus. It looks like you were just in the zone and you're just like firing on all cylinders, playing super fast and all that. And you're like you knew what people are going to cast.
Yeah,
So
it's like it. I had my opponent. He was playing an aggressive list with pixies, Urnums, Serendips, and lions. So it's something like
yeah,
8 lions. And I told him every single card he would play before he played it. And at the last card, he was like, "Shut the fuck up, please, please don't tell me." I was like, "Look, bro, it can only be Sarah Angel. You have 0 cards in hand. You tapped 5 mana. There is no 5 drop in that colors which is playable." He was like, "It could be Air Elemental." I looked at him and said, "Is it Air Elemental?" No, it's not.
yeah,
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 I'm actually quite good in old school at the moment. I'm a little bit on fire, to be honest.
yeah,
But
yeah.
also
Because
the
usually you don't play. Usually Alban, you're
Mm,
he's the one who's playing, and you're doing the vendoring. But yeah,
yes, or I help running tournament or organize like last year at the Plague. I did the scorekeeping.
yeah,
Yeah, the thing is, I play so much Magic under the week. It will be a little less because we normally release 2 episodes per week with the Brewers Tavern.
yeah,
Now we went down to 1 episode for the week, which gives me a little bit more time. But actually, I played like 4, 5, 6 hours Magic, old school Magic per
yeah.
week.
Okay, yeah, that's a
So
lot. Yeah, yeah. I don't play that much because I'm afraid of like getting bored of it, and so when I'm going to tournament, I'm really hyped for finally getting to play some old school.
I'm a little bit tired of old school at the moment, to be honest, because I see so many tournaments,
Yeah,
or I play so many tournaments, I play so much online, so that's why I took a little bit of a break. But after like 3, 4 months, it is good again, and I can still keep on playing.
yeah, yeah. You gotta have that balance. So
True. Yeah, I just need some time. The format is the best in the world. Don't get me wrong, but at
yeah,
some point you just need a little bit of a break, some change.
yeah. Or at least the people and the community is the best. Like
Yeah,
I'm sure you can find better Magic formats, like gameplay wise, but yeah, I love those old cards.
to be honest, I would say deck diversity wise, probably gameplay wise, I don't think so because this is like pure Magic. I mean, it is super unfair to fire off Black Lotus and Sarah turn 1, and that is the unfairest it can be. So that's okay.
Yeah,
But I think you're right. The community makes that format the best in the world, like by far. Plus, that it is probably one of the best tournament formats
yeah,
because the games are not over in a blink of an eye. Of course, if you play against Channel Fireball, you lose like immediately. But I play old school since 2016, 17, something like that. And I never lost against Channel Fireball on a tournament. Never. In all that
yeah.
years.
No,
Fingers crossed. But
yeah, that's something you don't normally see.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
I think people played that Channel Fireball more before, but now the lists are so tight, so you can't afford to have a channel and a dead card. So
Yeah. The problem is the lists went from super funny to relatively competitive, you know?
yeah,
And it is quite the format is more competitive than a lot of people think.
yeah, at least at the top tables. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was at Arvika, and there was like two great halls with like 60 players in each hall, and you can see at the top tables people were sober and they was playing really tight and was really concentrating. And when you get down to the second hall, people starting to get more drunk, and at the bottom tables it was just crazy, like they're rolling around on the floor and like it was
To be
madness.
this is where I see myself a little bit more than winning tournaments, because when I played Finland, when I played pre-modern, I was the only guy who was fucking drunk in the top 8. I felt so alone, you know? It's like I was really the only drunk guy. I was like, what am I doing here? I
Yeah.
don't know anything about the format. Why am I here? What am I doing here? I mean, I lost directly in the quarterfinals, but
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's right. You went top 8 in the pre-modern as well.
yeah.
You're really on fire.
I mean, if I play Magic, I try to play the best Magic I can. So I'm not giving away stuff, but I'm also not super harsh. I mean, I'm not that kind of guy who's sharking people into something.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to take back your land drop, take back your land drop. As long as nothing happens in between, which changes the situation, I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you play land drop, cast Ancestor, and then you're like, oh, can I change my land drop?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, what's your plan for the rest of the year? Are you going to Uten Troll Cup?
No. I go to Italy to fish liver oil. I run the European Championship in for pre-modern and old school in Darmstadt at the end of September, at the 29th. And as I said, end of October, it's fish liver oil cup. Sorry, WinCon, the World Championship title.
Yeah.
And I think then the year is close to over. Then there's one pre-modern tournament. Oh no, there's the plague, and then there's a pre-modern tournament, and then there is a super small familiar tournament in Italy, where I just drive to get super drunk and buy the best Parmesan I can buy on a market.
Yeah.
And yeah, then it's December, and then Christmas, New Year, over.
Yeah, I also have the plague, and we're going to the Uten Troll Cup for the first time, me and my wife. So I've never been in Netherlands playing, so I'm looking forward to that.
I wish you a lot of fun there.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, it was fun. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invite. I hope the viewers will enjoy it at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, hope
All
to
right.
see you soon.
Signing out. This is Farmstead. I'm out.